Welcome everyone, my name is Rorz, and today we're going to be reacting to a video titled Bodybuilders and Looksmaxxers are both losers.
Hey, some of you guys asked me to review this video called Looksmaxxing is Bullshit by Tanner Shuck. I was considering doing it, but then I saw that this guy called Rorz made a response to it. I'm going to be reviewing his video instead because this way I can give you my thoughts about the Looksmaxxing side and the side that calls Looksmaxxing bullshit.
Gurus like Clavicular and Dylan McKnight, they're not helping young men. They're frying your brain.
Is he helping young men? He promotes bodybuilding. He tells young guys to go to the gym to look better. And that's funny because it's also a sort of Looksmaxxing method. They believe that they will get more attention if they go to the gym. Would
He's kind of insinuating that it's a bad thing.
you do it if you would be the last human being left on Earth? Never. Because you only do bodybuilding for other people, never for yourself.
Okay, interesting take. He is partially correct. A lot of people do get into the gym because they're not satisfied with the way they look, but pretty much anyone who actually stays in the gym is not doing it for anyone else but themselves.
You don't need the perfect jawline. You don't need Greek god proportions. You don't need to turn yourself into some pretty boy obsessing over your eyebrows. I don't know when the hell this...
Yes, and when regular people see that, they laugh at it, rightfully so.
Being a fan, you got replaced
Unironically, I actually think Goatis could really ascend from dyeing his eyebrows.
by being a beauty pageant contestant. Every comment now is dudes asking, bro, is my mandible projecting enough? How can I fix my cheekbones? Seriously, what the...
You cannot fix the bones in your skull after you are done developing. If you're still developing, if you're young enough, then you can, by eating naturally. That's the only way. Later on, you can do surgeries, which I don't recommend. They are risky, and you will end up looking uncanny, strange, to say the least, because you will change one part of your face.
Okay, interesting. So he's saying that you should develop in an optimal way naturally, instead of getting surgery, but what happens when you develop inadequately? Do we just lay down a rod or something? I don't really know what the solution is here.
But when your skull develops, grows, then it grows as a whole. And that's why when you fix one part, so to speak, you're not of course fixing it, but that's what people believe, then you will only change that part, but the rest of the skull will stay the same.
It's a pretty ignorant statement, and you also really have to quantify what fixing it actually means. You're absolutely fixing it in an aesthetic light, but you can also fix it in many other various ways, such as through orthodontic corrective surgery. So far, the argument is pretty flawed there.
I do feel bad for this guy, to be fair. I mean, this guy is clearly a fitness influencer, and if you're getting comments talking about the face, it would definitely be very annoying considering, well, the face is obviously more important than your body.
And these look-maxing clowns, they've got you thinking if you don't have a movie star jawline, your life is over. These guys put out bullshit content.
Your face and the rest of the body develops at the same time. Of course, there's different stages, but you understand what I mean. If your face develops well, then the rest of the body will also, seeing as it all grows.
Yeah, definitely. I think development and genetics definitely go hand in hand. You're really going to see a guy with a very good looking face, subtracted in the frame or height region, and also body composition. So yeah, good looks definitely do tend to come in packages.
Just like you are into the body of a woman, women are into the bodies of men. And of course, they look at the face in the first place, and of course, the eyes in the very first place. That's the most important part.
And
No, he got that right.
projecting their own insecurities for profit.
Yeah, I hear a lot of these comments talking about how Looksmaxxers project their own insecurities. I can't speak for anyone else in the niche, but for me personally, when I'm talking about Looksmaxxing, I'm thinking of it more in the sense of just...
Of course. I don't say this to offend the guy at all, but he looks average at best, if I'm really generous. And that's with these crazy effects that he has on his face. The shiny, blurry effects. Even girls on Instagram don't use these kind of extreme filters or whatever it is. Of course, you get into Looksmaxxing because you want to improve your looks. Why do you want to improve them? Because 90% of Looksmaxxers are below average and 10% are average. I have never seen a Looksmaxxer who is above average, just never.
Yeah, I mean, calling someone average without defining the reference group of criteria isn't really an analysis. It's just an opinion dressed up as a statement.
character in a video game or just simply being a high agency person. I think the reason why Looksmaxxing is so popular is, well, the black pill is so popular. And what the black pill teach? It teaches people that genetics are very important. And when people realize that they don't have genetics that are considered...
Yes, but there's no such thing as genes. What he means is that your bloodline, what you inherit, is important. And that's true. Your development is also very important. And very often, the black pillars actually talk about the development of your body, which is purely based on the food that you eat. And they just always say genetics, genetics, genetics. Of course, they are no different than the rest of the people out there. They have no clue about our bodies, how we develop, why we develop, where our looks come from, that it's all health, that you simply inherit the health of your ancestors. Meaning that if they ate raw meat, a lot of animals, they were good hunters, then you will look accordingly. Even if you grow up on cooked meat, if you come from this kind of a bloodline, you will still look above average, of course. The looks will decrease with the next generations. But if you come from a farmer's family, then again, you will look accordingly.
It chats here. Well, that's essentially when they go to biohacking it. And I know we haven't let the video play too much.
Just to be clear, by farmer family, I mean families that ate a lot of grains. Of course, you can also farm animals, which is what people used to do a lot.
It's just, yeah, but I think a massive double standard with these fitness guys is they'll carry on about how Looksmaxxing is so awful and it breeds insecurity and that you shouldn't care about your appearance. Yet they've spent their entire lives and careers building their physique.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. It's all about looking differently. You just don't focus on your face, but other than that, there isn't much of a difference. And again, it all has to do with your development. The bodybuilders, gym goers, focus on the body below the neck, and maybe the neck also, okay, below the face, the skull. And the Looksmaxxers come to a similar realization. I do not look the way I want to look. Usually it's because of the development today. And I want to change this part of my body, which is the skull, the face. But it's actually really similar.
Okay, so what do you suggest to someone who's fully developed that? Because based on the way you're framing it, it doesn't sound like anyone is actually going to benefit from your worldview, but would benefit from Looksmaxxing or bodybuilding. Because what exactly are we supposed to do here? Buy a time machine or something?
The bodybuilders want to look bigger, wider especially, because of development. And the Looksmaxxers usually want a wider face, which would develop with the rest of your body if you would eat what you're naturally supposed to eat. And sometimes also some stuff which is inherited. Of course, your inheritance, the bloodline that you come from, is super important. Don't get me wrong. But your development is simply also very important.
Caring about the way they look, I just think it's a bit immature and a very outdated way of thinking. It's like, yeah, well, anything below the neck is fine, but above the neck, oh, yeah, no, we need to stay clear of that. That's awful. That's going to breed insecurity for young men.
And the worst part is that
Yeah, that's strange. It doesn't make any sense. It's almost hypocritical, kind of.
dudes are listening to this nonsense. Having a perfect face is bullshit. And you know what's more bullshit? Thinking that perfection even exists.
I think everyone really understands that. It's not about trying to become perfect. No one can be. There's really no true Adam that exists. Looksmaxxing is literally what it is in the word. It's about maxing your own looks.
Scarred, weathered. It's okay to be rough around the edges. In fact, you should be. But here's the truth you'll never hear from the pretty boy TikTok crowd. Most of you don't need jaw surgery or any kind of surgery to augment your physique. You need self-respect. And self-respect isn't built in a mirror. It's built in the way you live your life. If you really want to Looksmaxx, start here. Have enough self-respect to take.
Again, doesn't make any sense. Especially if your channel is also all about changing your looks. It's about becoming bigger, wider, by gaining a lot of muscles, which you don't even gain for the most part. You maintain them. That's why you go to the gym 3-4 times a week.
You don't gain muscle, you maintain it by going to the gym. Interesting.
To get the pump, because once you don't go, you lose the pump and you look smaller, and then you're insecure again. There isn't that much of a difference when you compare both sides.
Fair yourself.
Yeah, no, Looksmaxxing starts with self-respect and self-discipline. I think this mindset is a bit retarded though. Like, why can't we just have both? Like, for example, in my case, I've Looksmaxxed my face quite a lot. I've been in the gym for over 6 years.
But you don't even show yourself. You show a photo when you had acne, and then you now use these crazy, really over-the-top effects to hide the way your face looks like. And we can see the eye bags and the dark eye circles, even with those effects. That also streams insecurity. Think about it.
I mean, based on what he's claiming, presentation choices don't exactly imply insecurity. It implies optimization. By the same logic, your hair transplant would be seen as insecurity, wouldn't it?
Out of all the surgeries that people do to look better, a hair transplant is the one that I recommend the most. Of course, not everybody on earth requires one to look better, but most men do. A lot of women also do. Millions of humans have had a hair transplant. A surprising amount of these people are women. It's a modern problem that we have. The big difference between most plastic surgeries and a hair transplant is that no foreign objects will be placed inside of your body.
I mean, you can see what he's doing here. Essentially, he's moving the goalpost to where it benefits him the most. You can see in this image here that the Norwood Reaper most definitely came for him, and honestly, props to him for this amazing result. But I guarantee you, if he had a mandible deficiency, he would absolutely move the goalpost in that direction and say it was correcting to natural development.
Well, in reality, it simply just isn't this black and white. And it's ironic because he's talking about projection, but in reality, the only person that would have this worldview is someone that didn't have the ideal face. He's not a bad-looking dude, but he clearly doesn't align.
She's an average, normal guy. I would say that he looks slightly better than you, but whatever. You both look average, just like some guys.
He Looksmaxxing standards, he understands this, so he's trying to get a point across that's going to serve his own worldview and what works for him, but doesn't necessarily logically apply to a real-world scenario.
Because if you love yourself, you'll respect yourself. And if you respect yourself, you'll take care of yourself. And if you take care of yourself, you'll live with discipline. Discipline is the highest form of self-love there is. It's loving yourself enough to give yourself everything you actually want, not the fake Instagram filter.
Yeah, none of this makes any sense. Discipline is you going against your senses, your intuition, meaning your nature. It's the very opposite of loving yourself, seeing as you essentially hate something about you, your life, and you want to change it. You go against your intuition, and then you lift metal all the time for years, 20 years, 30 sometimes, until you stop in your 50s, 60s, realizing that it was all nonsense, that you were simply insecure, that you looked too small, that your wrists, hands, the whole body didn't develop as you wanted it to. Most of them don't even realize this in the end. That's the messed up part.
Yeah, this literally makes no sense. The entirety of civilization in the first place was literally born upon delayed gratification and therefore discipline. I'm actually curious to see if he provides a solution in this video.
If you want to be a man, not a mannequin, here's your real Looksmaxxing checklist. Be disciplined, be in shape, be a man of your word, be organized, have an agenda, respect.
Let's go through this. Be disciplined. I already told you. Do the opposite. Seek comfort like all wild animals. That's what you really want. Be self-willed. That's what wild means. Be in shape. Again, this is just you maintaining the shape. You go to the gym all the time. You maintain it. Be a man of your word. What? No, do the opposite. That's the stupidest thing you can do. Be organized.
What?
No, what? That's chaos. Follow nature. Nature is the only order in this reality. If you're organized, you're going against nature. Have an agenda? No. What? What kind of agenda? I don't know what he means. Respect time? What the fuck does that even mean? Time doesn't exist.
Other people's time and your own time. Get your money right. Don't live in debt.
Money doesn't exist. Debt doesn't exist.
Dumbass. Be reliable. Lead your family.
I like how he said dumbass, not realizing the irony. Be reliable. Whatever, man.
Protect and provide. And for fuck's sake,
Protect and provide. That's natural if we are talking about your family. Have good hygiene. What does that mean?
Yep, that summarizes it all right.
women don't give a shit about your zygomatic arch. They want a guy who can lead, protect, and not have a meltdown because his jawline looks...
Well, women care about it, but women wouldn't know what to call it. Rightfully so.
Correct.
Nobody who is good looking knows these kind of terms.
False.
It's only bad looking people and plastic surgeons. If it's your job, that's a different story. But if you know any of these terms, the chances are that you are probably quite below average looking because you really researched the black pill, Looksmaxxing, you're really into that topic.
I mean, well, yeah, below average people are going to learn those terms and then become above average. So that term only makes sense if you don't improve, and literally anyone who Looksmaxxes does improve.
I've never seen one guy who's even in any way above average who knows any of these terms. Just never. Because once you look into these terms, into the topic so deeply, you know that... I won't say it. You know it when you look in the mirror.
less sharp and warm lighting. You want real imperfections? Look at me. One leg's bigger than the other. I have a thick core.
Yeah, just be jacked and rich, bro.
Heavy lifting. I have chest fat sometimes. I get acne on my face and my back from sweating my ass off training. I don't care about looking like a pretty boy. I care about horsepower. I care about strength. I care about being a man who can at least defend and protect his family as shit really has to fame.
And that's totally fine, man.
You wouldn't even be able to... Okay, he doesn't have that crazy much mass, but still, he is overweight, obviously. And realistically, if you
Does this guy just like refuse to see reality or something? What's going on here?
would need to protect your family, you wouldn't even be able to... A body like this just makes you slow, immobile, essentially.
Yeah, that is definitely true. If you lift weights and you get to that size and you don't do any form of athletic training, sprinting, plyometrics, what have you, yeah, you're definitely going to be stiff, 100%.
That's something that you believe in doesn't mean that our worldview is incorrect. Maybe you would think that Looksmaxxing is becoming a trend because, like, possibly there is some truth to it.
And meanwhile, some of you are crying because your jawline isn't optimal. Bro, get the fuck out of here. If you really want to be attracted to a woman, be a fucking man. Lead her. Take care of her. Provide. Protect. Prove you'll be a strong father. Prove you'll raise kids who will contribute to society, not leech from it. Women want a man with presence, not a guy with a dad bod who's too fat and sick to play with his own kids. And this is why...
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, he is not wrong in any way here. But like I said, it's a bit of a black and white mindset. I believe in everything he's saying here. I also believe in Looksmaxxing as well.
Guys like Levicular and Dylan McKnight are poisoning young men. They teach you that attractiveness is a math equation. Real attractiveness is simple. Being worthy of respect. Being worthy to procreate with. Not because of your face, because of your presence.
This is also...
It's dumb because you're trying to imitate different kind of development and also some parts which are inherited. That's why it's so pathetic to look at Looksmaxxers.
Goatis' philosophy, just reincarnate, bro.
A lot of guys get caught up in the whole PSL math face rating equation, like he's mentioning.
Those people are the worst. And none of it makes any sense. They just made up those ratios to feel better about themselves. I always laugh when those kind of videos are recommended to me. Beauty is so subjective. One girl will see a guy as below average, and then another girl will see him as super attractive. I see this all the time. These ratios are something that people, especially in the black pill community, made up. And the reason they made them up is... for an obvious reason, as I said.
Yeah, Face IQ's not gonna like that one. And on the topic of Face IQ and subjectivity of looks though, if I were to put Goatis into Face IQ labs, I don't think you'd be too happy with the result there. The ratios are definitely not there to make people feel better. In fact, it's probably gonna be the opposite.
Look at any people from that community, it will be clear.
In reality, it simply doesn't translate to real life. When you think of what PSL actually is, it's essentially a scale that's made up from the ideal modeling standards from the best looking people in the world. So there is a lot of objectivity to it. However, appeal is obviously going to be more important in real life. For example, my friend from last night showed me a stream from Ken and Andrew.
Whoa, oh my god, man. Fuck. Which one of them is up? For me, it's really hard to say. These could actually be the two-looking guys on Earth. I'm not even overreacting.
I mean, they mug you to death. However, they definitely do need to iron their shirts though.
It's just insane what they did to themselves.
Gen X, two pretty well-known Looksmaxxing influencers. Stockton or Ken is extremely high in PSL.
What does that mean, PSL? Bad looking, or what does he mean? I don't know what that means, but yeah, as I've said before, they are both essentially. I'm sure that both of them will never have a good. I'm just sure about it.
100% certain? Alright, well, let's roll the clips then.
What does your girlfriend think of all the female attention when you go out on stream?
Honestly, watching this in disbelief because all the women were ignoring Nocturne or Ken and just going straight to androgenic. Now, obviously, there's a lot more subtleties to it. Ken's phenotype in Australia.
Oh, he didn't see the full videos? There were a lot of clips of girls calling him I won't even say it. Yeah, girls really made fun of him. I saw some clips, somebody emailed them to me. It's really bad, yeah. I don't even know how he dares to go on camera anymore after that.
Yeah, the girls were calling him ugly because, well, he told them to, as he's doing a lot of clip farming.
Androgenic also has a lot of status from where he's from, but the whole mindset about ratios, don't get me wrong, it's super interesting. It definitely correlates with the...
Status can get you somewhere in the system, not naturally, but it doesn't make anybody attractive.
Real world effects. Every man should strive.
I mean, I would say that's definitely false. If you want to go down the caveman mindset, I think Goatis would argue that the tribe leader is always going to be a lot more attractive than the grunt of the group.
To tick every single box that they can. If you like this guy and ignoring the face, then not optimal. If you like Ken and you're ignoring your physique, also not optimal. Looksmaxxing has gone mainstream, and I believe that's a huge blessing for a lot of people. If you're an actress... and the world is treating you in a negative way, and there wasn't some on forum to tell you that it was over, ironically, you would go around life thinking there was something wrong with your own personality or your sense of being. Now, a lot of people can turn this into a victim mindset. I wasn't born with giga genetics. But Looksmaxxing used in a healthy and positive way is extremely beneficial for a lot of men. Poisoning young men is a bit of a stretch.
Looksmaxxing, the way it's sold online, is shallow as fuck. It's a distraction. It's pollution for your brain. Real Looksmaxxing is toxic masculinity. Real Looksmaxxing is being manly as fuck. Real Looksmaxxing is discipline, accountability, honesty, strength, purpose. Bring back men who look like they've lived. Bring back real men with a good moral compass and a good heart. Bring back purpose. Bring back strength. Stop chasing perfection. Start chasing discipline. Start chasing strength. Start chasing purpose. That's how you really look max. That's how you become a fucking man. And if you're a man who is toxic masculinity, real Looksmaxxing is being manly as fuck.
Oh yeah, if you want to really Looksmaxxing, you need to be manly as fuck. Hoorah!
Man, and if you're a man who wants to do Looksmaxxing the right way and actually wants to get strong and jacked, apply for one-on-one custom coaching. I'll put that link here next to my head.
He even calls it Looksmaxxing himself. That's what I said at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Bodybuilding is Looksmaxxing. Once again, not really too sure what Tanner's ideology is there. But hey, at least it isn't nihilism.
And that's what it kind of is. It's delusional, but that's how they see it.
What you can actually do is you can apply for my custom coaching where I teach you how to get jacked and also hence.
Using the second link in the description.
At the end of the day, both sides are the same. They want to change and hide the way they developed. And of course, as I said, what you inherited, what bloodline you come from is very important. But usually they focus more so on the development side. Whether they realize it or not is irrelevant, but I've reviewed some videos about these topics, and it's usually the case. The bodybuilders want to look bigger, especially wider. They want their shoulders to look wider because the bones didn't develop the way they should because they ate cornflakes with pasteurized milk.
I mean, I just don't understand it. Like, the bodybuilder that you're referencing to has wider shoulders than you do. And I'm assuming you talk about the primal diet because you're insinuating that you grew up optimally. So not too sure where that's coming from. But yeah, this is pretty much just the best representation of what the primal diet's actually going to get you. At least the bodybuilder guy actually looked like he developed correctly. And you're just a grown man who looks like a twink.
You will get exactly what you would expect if you eat like that during your development. And then the Looksmaxxers want to change their face. They focus more on that. But as I said, at the end of the day, the body develops as a whole. And that's why somebody who has an attractive face will have an attractive body, as in below the face also. It's all your body, of course, but typically when people say body, they are talking about your chest, arms, back, and so on. Your whole body will develop, or it will be underdeveloped. And this all depends on the food that you eat.
So the summary from this video pretty much just seems like he's disguising nature as nihilism, and if your philosophy can't improve anyone's life in any tangible way, it isn't wisdom, it's just comfort disguised as virtue. And you cannot condemn self-improvement as insecurity if you're willing to surgically alter your own flaws. And I think there's just so many holes in this guy's argument. If it is virtuous to be completely natural, he's essentially benefiting from everything that isn't natural, like a microphone, earphones, the internet, a monitor, because it benefits him. But as soon as something man-made requires any form of delayed gratification, or putting in any sort of effort, well, that's when it's deemed as wrong to it. Also, if you don't like laying down and rotting like Goatis, you can check the first link in the description and check out my Looksmaxxing program. In there, you'll find every man-made improvement tactic, starting from hair transplants to lifting weights, or even a guide to using filters. You can check the first link in the description and you can join today. Hope you guys had a good laugh with watching this video. If you'd like to see more reactions, comment down below, mog your past self, and I'll see you in the next one.